we've talked about it quite a bit, including when talking about it. I have mentioned the comments of my own flesh and blood, my 13-year-old, soon to be 14-year-old son, Cooper Eisen, saying to me that the only people who root for the Chiefs are Chiefs fans, Taylor Swift fans, and Roger Goodell. I don't know where he gets this from. Clearly, it's not from his mother or his father. All right.
How do we know that?
I can safely attest. There is not any sort of grousing in the Eisen household.
Kids usually pick that stuff up at home, Rich.
About officiating being biased towards one team and one player. And of course, Cooper is too young to know that Tom Brady had very similar protection strategies placed upon him in the mind's eye of many fans that watched a 20-year run.
Not like this.
Sir, I shall offer pushback.
Again, I just don't want...
Get out of here.
It's not about Tom Brady. Tom Brady hasn't played for the Patriots in 5 seasons.
Let us talk about then the here and now. Okay. There is no way the officiating department, at the direction of anybody, does anything other than call it to the best of ability they have as they see it. Unfortunately, with the sense that's out there that the officials, like Clay Martin, the head ref in Kansas City this week, the fact that most everybody out there believes they're going to look at something on Mahomes and call it, if it's just a even hair's breadth on him, that they would just let go for anyone else. That being the operative narrative brought to bear by those who watch football, potentially gamble on it. And then we see what happened in Kansas City on Saturday is, the only word for it is unfortunate. The 2 penalties that were called on the Texans. Will Anderson called for roughing Mahomes in the first quarter to keep the Chiefs on the field in a 3-3 game. And with the extra set of downs due to that 15-yard penalty, the Chiefs go up 6-3 and never lost the lead after that. Not helpful, to say the least, in terms of the narrative. Unfortunate in terms of the narrative. Unacceptable when we can see it on replay at home. That calling it borderline would be even a generous way of calling it. Unacceptable. And then later in the third quarter, after a fresh set of downs, puts the ball on the Kansas City, get this right, 35-yard line. Patrick Mahomes runs the ball, and part of this narrative is that he invites the contact that officials will then deem illegal by his style of running, not running out of bounds, actually tiptoeing down the sidelines long enough to invite the contact, thinking maybe I'll get an extra 15, one would think, while he's trying to get more yards on the play. He turns the ball back inside. He doesn't, this contact I'm talking about wasn't on the sideline. He turns it back inside. 2 Texans collide as he slides down late. They collide over him, and there's a penalty essentially called on the Texans for colliding into each other. No, I mean, it sounds absurd, but that's exactly what happened.
That's exactly what happened.
And replay, if it's allowed to assist, would say, hey, Clay Martin, pick that up, please. And with the extra 15 yards, again, it was a first down already. The Chiefs march it down the field, and on a remarkable play by Mahomes, the typical Mahomes magic finds Travis Kelce in the end zone. for a touchdown. So that does put out there the play better than the ref's ref, because how do you leave Kelsey open when Mahomes isn't even targeting D-Hop? That's for another day, but it certainly doesn't help the cause when the narrative is such and you see plays like that. The head coach, D'Amico Ryans, with something somewhat uncharacteristic in his post-game comment.
Yeah, we knew going into this game, man, it was us versus everybody. Right? When I say everybody, it's everybody, all of whatever. Everybody, the naysayers, the doubt, right? Everybody we had to go against today. And, going with that, knowing going into this game what we were up against, we can't make the mistakes that we made, right? We had a lot of self-inflicted mistakes that happened, whether it's special teams, not converting our kicks, defensively, not being where we're supposed to be in coverage, all offensively, not protecting our quarterback and keeping them clean. So, you marry that on top of everything else that we have to deal with. It's going to be a really tough uphill battle.
So the first time when he says we were dealing with everything and everybody, he covered it up by saying naysayers. But when he got back to it, he's absolutely referring to the officiating.
Yeah, of course.
And as Roger Goodell might say, it'll get handled when it gets handled. Here's how it should be handled. Every 15-yard penalty that is called should be reviewed by replay while the officials are calling it and getting a conference together on the field to discuss it. That's enough time for replay assist to look at it and tell them, pick the flag up. We do not want that penalty called. It should not be called, period. Because these officials, it's a fast game. They are right there as the thin blue line on the spot. They're the ones not only trying to make these penalties, make these calls right, but they are also the first line of protection in player safety defense. And so they're going to call a penalty to try and keep players safe. It is a noble gesture. I get it. But what has to be first and foremost is getting it right. I'm sorry. I'm not saying that that's at the expense of player safety. You can have your cake and eat it when there is replay to assist. On penalties that are called, I don't know if you want to open the Pandora's box to say that should have been called. Hey, faceless, nameless official, nobody sees. Come buzz in and put a flag on the field. I don't think anybody in the NFL wants that, but I don't think anybody in the NFL wanted those penalties called on Saturday called either. Will Anderson just flat out said it. Go ahead and hit that.
We knew it was going to be us against the refs going into this game. And, I talked to you guys early this week. And I was just saying, we got to go out there and we got to do us better. And, in some instances we didn't do that, in some instances we did. So we just got to keep going, man. Next offseason, get the guys together, man. And, everybody just coming together and just keep building that team chemistry and get past this hump.
No doubt. I'm sure Chiefs fans are hearing it, and you're all right. Don't give up 8 sacks. Don't let George Karlaftis go off like he did. Don't make these mistakes. Cover Travis Kelce.
Special teams issues.
Oh yeah. 100%.
Opening kickoff.
But for the league, you don't need to hear that from star players and a head coach who is skirting the line of getting fined. That's not what you want to have come out of a playoff game. And my 13-year-old, again, who doesn't learn this at home. I know you're having fun with it. He does not learn this at home. He sent me literally before we came on the air for this segment, Cooper sent me a video of all of these moments with Troy Aikman in the booth saying this is a travesty, essentially.
Aikman was on it.
He said to me, he sent me this video, and he said, explain this, Dad. So Dad is explaining. The officials are the first line of defense. They will always err on the side of player safety, and there is replay assist to be able to help us have our cake, player safety, and eat it. Calls being right, too. We have it. We need to use it, especially when it's in 4K on someone's wall. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.